hear you.
So this is from today's interview. And the question was, list few ways to find an element by in Selenium. Who wants to volunteer?
Hi, Bahabake. I
Hi,
can
then. Yeah.
start. If I understood correctly, it's like there are like such ways as XPath by ID, by class, by tag name.
Okay.
And
Good. Partial link text.
yeah, link text, partial link
Good.
text.
Very good. How about perfect. The second question. Hover over. Did you do that or not yet? The actions class. You didn't cover it, right? Okay, maybe we'll do an example on this.
I think we did cover, no?
Actions class. It's okay. So yeah, we'll take a look at it today. And navigation commands. Did you cover navigate dot to, navigate dot back, or no?
Yes, we did.
Yes, yes, we covered.
Between windows.
Between windows, right? Huh? Ziya. Ay, ay, ay. Everything no. No? No? Whoa, did you cover Java Edge or no? No. Yes. So this is from today's interview, right? Good. Okay, let's take a look at this. Did you cover 3 set? No? Yes? Okay. What is 3 set? Who wants to take a try? Benazir, you want to give it a try?
Yes.
What? Let's talk about set first. What are sets in Java?
Set saves all the only unique elements, right?
Yep, that's the key.
Yes.
It only saves the unique elements. And 3 set,
there
have-
is no order when saving.
yes.
3
So
set,
what are different types of sets we have? 3 set,
3 set, hash set.
hash set, linked hash set, right?
Yes, linked hash set, right?
Okay. So hash set doesn't have order, but it saves unique elements only. 3 set has an order, but it's like the ascending order or natural order. It saves elements.
Okay.
And
Then
then
I
linked
think it
hash
will
set,
show auto, Java, then test.
test and test, right?
Why? Test should
Or
be
just one test?
just one test.
Good. Yes, perfect. And is it going to show in the new line or the same line?
It will be on the same line.
Good. Right, Mahatja? She did perfect, right? I think she passed this task. Good. All right. Thank you, Benazir. Next, Ulan, you want to give it a shot on this one?
Yes, I will try. On the question.
So imagine this is interview. How would you answer during interview? You have to sound professional. You have to also like make it natural. Tree set or yeah, you can start with map and then different types of map inside, right? Sets, different types of sets. Good. Ulan, no, Ulan? Okay. Who wants to give it a try? Mohache, you saw how we did during interview today. You want to try?
30 and 10. 10, it's okay. I got it. Because it's outside of Karur braces, yeah.
Yes.
It is yeah. I thought that it was like else. I'm thinking all the time why it was
Yeah.
10. I
Oh,
understand
you
that
got the answer from the interview already. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, then maybe
Papa,
tell the judge. Go ahead, Chinara.
yeah, I was thinking why there is no else, like,
Why there's no else? I mean,
yeah.
because they don't want it.
Mm.
Yes. Exactly. If statement doesn't have to have else. If can be by itself, but else cannot be by itself. Else has to have if,
Yeah.
but if doesn't need else. Okay.
So here we are getting only 10 output.
Okay. What about others? What do you think? Aidana, what do you think? Then we're gonna come to who else we have? Enura, right? Okay.
I think
Enura,
it's
your
yeah.
time is coming.
I think that it says like if x greater than 5, so x is greater than 5, 10. So the system inside it will be 30, and in the second system out it should be 10, I think, because
Good. Because
it doesn't like relate like to each
yes,
other. Just to-
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They're irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So this is good answer, but during interview, like if I was there, this is how I would go about it. Okay. What will be the output of this code? Okay, so I see that we have a main method here, and inside main we have a variable integer type. It's initialized to x is equal to 10, and then we have this if condition. We're checking if x is bigger than 5. X has been initialized to 10, so it is true. This evaluates to true, and then we have inside another integer variable which is initialized to 20, so y is equal to 20. So here we are going to print out 20 plus 10, so which is going to print out 30. And then outside of it, we have another system out println where we're printing the value of x, and the x is 10. So it is going to print out 30, and then on a new line, it's going to print 10. So this is how I would answer during interview. Like read line by line. It shows that you can read code. You know the keywords. Initialized, variable, if condition. And inside the if condition, you have x bigger than 5. This is going to evaluate to true. Evaluate. Because it is true, right? We don't say x is bigger than 5. It's true. No, it's going to evaluate to true. That means we are then going inside of this if statement. If it didn't evaluate to true, then we wouldn't even bother going inside this if statement. We would ignore it totally, right? So during during the interview, if you read it like this, it shows that you can read code. So you're not only giving the answer to them, but you are showing, hey, maybe they interviewed today 10 candidates, and out of this 10 people, everybody just said it's going to print 30 and then 10. You know, maybe 9 people said that, but you are taking the next step. You're taking it to the next level. You're saying, hey, I see that this is a main method. So there is integer x variable. It has been initialized. It's initialized 10. And then there's an if condition where we are checking if x is bigger than 5. X in fact is bigger than 5, which is 10, so it evaluates to true. And then we go inside this if statement. The y variable is also getting initialized to 20, so we're going to print it out. So you see, you're walking them through the code. You are showing it. Now, out of those 10 people, you will probably be on their top list because you showed them professionalism. Secondly, you showed them that you can read code, not only read code, but also give them the correct answer, right? That's how I would approach the answer of this question.
I thought that there is some trick in this like example. I think like it's like from the first sight, it looks like very easy. Like the example is very
There's-
easy. But then like since you said that the main like idea of this example is just reading, right, professionally.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's the trick here is they're playing with your mind. There's one system out println inside the if statement, and there's one println outside the if statement. So the outside one, the x's value never changes. I mean, in fact, the x's value never changes here, right? X always stays 10. So, and a lot of people might think if statement will get executed and we will ignore the system out println outside because they will think it would be part of else. So that could be the trick. All right, let's go to the next one. What does this code snippet print? I actually had to ChatGPT it during the interview. And you can do the same. What do you guys think? Meaning I knew, but in JavaScript, I will show you how it gets executed. In JavaScript, it's a little different, so that's why I had to do ChatGPT.
There is no condition. It says just odd.
Maybe there is like curly braces, no curly braces, no? Like if and or it's not about that.
What do you guys think? Yeah, let's keep discussing. We'll find solution.
There is no like condition is not like I think not properly stated. If odd and what like there is no like value or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Like
is it about like true or false? I don't know.
like we
Exactly.
always need to give a condition, right? In if statement. If
Yes.
odd has to be bigger or smaller or whatever.
So we have to put here a Boolean, right? Inside the parentheses, it always has to have a Boolean. Or the output of the condition inside, it has to be Boolean, which means true or false. That's it. So
Mhm.
anything other than that, it's going to throw compilation error, compile time error. How did we read the compile time error today? All right. That one, we got it. Okay. Is it necessary for a try block to be followed by a catch block in Java for exception handling? ChatGPT.
Yes, we should always catch the exception. I mean, yeah.
In Java.
We should try and catch.
No. What? It is not always necessary to have a catch block or a try block in Java. However, there are some important considerations based on how exceptions are handled. When a catch block is required, a catch block is necessary if you want to handle exceptions explicitly within the same method or block of code. When a catch block is not required, if you include try block but do not include a catch block, you must have a finally block. Okay, so it requires finally if you don't have a catch block. The finally block is used for cleanup actions like, yeah. So try block cannot be by itself, right? It has to have finally if you don't have catch. But for best practices, it has to have catch. Program might terminate if no catch block. You don't always need a catch block for a try block. As a summary, a finally block can serve instead of catch block. If neither catch nor finally is present, it will result in a compilation error. So I don't get it. Does it mean that we have to have a, if we don't have a catch block, Java online pilot. Okay, int. Let's say we have string s equals, for example, 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2. Let's just have it as 1, 2. Int a equals integer dot parseInt, right? And s, okay, system dot out dot println a plus 5. It should print 17. Yeah, so it worked. But here's the thing. If I have letter AB instead of number, right? Then it throws exception, number format exception. So what I can do is I can try to put inside try block. And then there you go. So try block, try without catch, finally, or resource declarations. So it requires catch or finally. Catch and exception e system dot out dot println please provide an actual numeric value in your string. There you go. Please provide an actual numeric value in your string, right? So if I didn't put it inside the try block, it was terminating, or it was basically our program is not working at all. But if I put it inside the try catch block, then it works and prints out. Now, system dot out dot println welcome to TextState. Happy holidays. Right now, I need to provide here semicolon, right? Right now, when I print it out, it says, welcome to TextState. Please provide an actual numeric value in your string. because this is not a numeric value, and then happy holidays. Now, if I put here an actual value, 1, 2, 3, the output should be 128. Yes, welcome to TextState, 128, happy holidays. Here's the question then. So I commented out the try catch block here, right? And when I run it, it works, correct? And if I change to ABC, what do you guys think will be the output?
Error. We need to provide numeric.
So I
do.
wouldn't, nothing will get printed here.
Number exception.
The first will be printed, and after the first, there will be error.
So welcome to TextState is gonna get printed,
Yes,
but we will not see this, right?
yes.
Okay, good, correct. Yeah, welcome to TextState is printed, but the rest of the code after that is ignored. So that is the use case for try catch, right? So if I now comment this, now this will also get printed because we are handling the exception here, see? The number format exception. So if I change it here, see, there's no number now. It should in fact throw an error, but it's going to print, welcome to TextState. Please provide an actual numeric value in your string, which is our exception, and then it prints out the rest of the code. It continues with the rest of the code. It doesn't just terminate the whole program. Okay. And finally, system.out.println. I will be printed out no matter what. I'll be printed out no matter what. And there you go. Even if there's exception or no, this will always, the finally will always get printed, right? So let's say there's no exception and it's valid, 1, 2. So now the output should be 17. But this will, again, you see, I will be printed no matter what. Meaning, even if no matter if there is an exception or not, finally block will always get printed. I don't know, how can I squeeze this to the side? That's okay. So our answer might have been wrong for this. We said necessary. During interview. Is it necessary for a try block to be followed by a catch block in Java for exception handling? We said, yes, it is necessary. According to ChatGPT, it's not necessary, but from logical standpoint, it is necessary, right? Otherwise, what's the point of try catch? What's the point of try block? So hopefully, we'll see. It's not necessary. I mean, ChatGPT, of course, is correct. Yes. I mean, we're human, we make mistakes. Right? Is it okay to make mistakes? So how can I tell if an API is post or get? What are the differences between post and get?
Can I try?
Yeah.
Post is in API post method, it's creating the data. Get method is getting the data from UI.
Yes. You said on the UI?
I mean, from database.
From the, okay,
Yes.
to the UI or to the requesting
Yes.
client. Okay. Okay, any additions, guys? Who wants to go further to the details?
You mean how we the implementation of get and post, or how?
Differences between get and
Okay.
post. It's not, I
So
mean, that's the correct answer. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like post creates a record, get retrieves the data from the API. But there's more to it if you wanted to go more, right? What could that be?
So for whenever we try to retrieve data, we send just we use this HTTP method get, and then specify the URL, and that's it. But in post, we should always specify the body that we want receive back. And so
We should
uh,
not only, you're saying we should only specify the body, right?
in post, but in get,
Yeah.
no, we just send using this get and
Mhm.
URL in post, and do
you
not
are
need anything to
URL.
send. You are
Aidana. Yeah, URL.
you are
Okay.
URL, yes.
Yes. And
In
in
post,
post,
we
it requires a payload request body, right? Good.
Yes.
Very good. Any additions? Can you retrieve or get data using post request or no? Okay, Ziada is saying no.
Can we retrieve using post? You said you asked.
Yes,
No,
yes.
post just for creating a data, but
Okay.
for retrieving data, we always use get method.
ChatGPT, then give me answer now. I'll give you 5 minutes. Postman. Here. Last time I was using this, right? I did post request. I provided the request body. You see, I'm creating a new record to the database, right? I have, what is this again? What do I call this? What body? JSON format body for what? Request body. Because there's a body for response also. There's request body and response body. All right, so if I send request now, watch what happens. It's returning. It's returning me response body. So yes, we can retrieve data post request. Makes sense, right? Let me see. Okay, in here. So I'm gonna create this activity also, post request, right? I send it. Look, it returned me data. It automatically created an ID and then returned me what I just sent basically in the request body. So it is also responding to my request. Okay. Good, yeah, so these were the interview questions from today. And then another one. Chinara, this is your interview question. They asked this question to Chinara during the interview.
I discussed this question with Vector.
Of course.
The answer is really, really easy.
Well, let's see. You don't answer. Chinara don't answer. Others don't. ChatGPT. Let's see if someone can figure it out. You have x minus a in the parentheses, x minus b multiplied by x minus c multiplied by x minus d, and so on, all the way to x minus z. So between each of these operations, it's multiplication. And then there's 26 letters in English. So x minus a, x minus b, x minus c, but each of these, there's a multiplication. What would be the answer? It makes you think outside of the box now, right, Benazir?
Yeah, it's a basic math.
Yes. If you multiply 5 by 1, what's the output? 5? Nizia? 5 times 1 equals what?
5.
5. What about 5 times 2? Okay. What about 5 times 0? Yeah. So the output, they say it's 0. But why? Benazir, can you explain to us?
Sure. So we know that x is equal to 5, and for a, b, c, d till z, we can put any number. You can put 1, 2, 3, 4, or million, 2 million, but the answer will still be 0 because when you are continuing with these letters, when you reach x, x minus x will be 0, and all the next multiplications will be also 0. So the final answer is also 0. When any number will be multiplied by 0, which came from x minus x, the final will be 0.
Why x minus x? I didn't get it.
Because instead of these 4 dots, there is x minus d, x
Ah,
minus
yes,
e,
yes,
and
I
there
got
is
it now.
x minus x also.
Yes, yes, it will be 0.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very easy one.
It makes you think outside of the box,
Logic.
right?
Logic.
And Chinara, you had this question during interview?
Yeah,
She dropped?
yeah, I did
Yeah.
get. Yes, that was
Yes.
my question.
They asked this question to Chinara during the interview. All right. Cool. Really good stuff. So you guys did post request with, and who did not complete this?
Yeah, me. I didn't do it yet.
When was shared? Oh, it was shared today, yeah? Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, let's get to our automation and let's try to continue with our automation today. Let me run one of the test cases from, where do we run from? The feature file, activities, authors, RESTful. This one, right? Okay. Oh, let me zoom in. So this is get all. Oh, this one? In class, and you guys completed it, all of you? How about others? Miss Zia, did you complete this one too? Were you able to or no? Oh, this one. Okay, so this is partial update the existing booking ID. Okay. Let's run it. So it was a post request, huh? And it is under you created a token using this one.
No, it was inside the booking update feature. It was 6 lines after.
This one? Oh, to create the token, right? Okay. And when you run it, it generates it. And does it return the token here in the response or no? It didn't, right? So it just run and authorization response set username and password and generate token authorization and response is saved as okay. Token is equal to token plus get token. Okay. We can also print it out here, right, for us. I think let me check out a different branch before I actually do anything here. But before that, I need to make sure that I didn't introduce any git status. And please also, whatever I type here with the git stuff, pay attention, okay? Because this is going to, right now, it's not important for you. I'm doing git status. What does it mean? See, it says on branch main. So it's showing which branch I'm on. And then the main branch is up to date and there's nothing to commit. Okay, so I didn't introduce anything. And git checkout dash B. And we're gonna say post request practice. All right. What happened just now when I did this? They will ask during interview about Git, you know, right? No, nobody? You covered Git with Bexlan, yeah? Git checkout dash B. Okay, everybody, ChatGPT, then tell me the answer. Okay, so I'm gonna type here right now, git branch. That's it, and then enter. What happened? So I typed git branch, and then it's displaying me all the available branches. Yeah. Does it say that? So git branch? Yes. So git branch, after this, I have other optional commands like this that I can continue. So git checkout -b, and then all this. And then I can do git branch dash for delete, is it R -R, and then branch name. I think that deletes the branch. Okay, and then we have also git branch switch, something like that. What about git add command? Who wants to volunteer for git add? It doesn't exist? Git add? Yes. Yes. So this is what does it mean? So right now I am on which branch? I just checked out the new branch, right? Post request practice. This is the new branch that I created, okay? And let's say I create under this booking, RESTful booking, I create new file, and I call it practice post request dot feature. So I just create the feature file, and it's asking me, do you want to add the following to Git? I said add. Okay, so I'm gonna overwrite the file type. I have to, for some, I have to configure it so that it automatically does it. Okay. So in here now, Command O, Command C. Okay, see, I just added this new file, right? And if I write here on the bottom, I'm gonna type here git status. It says, hey, what does it say? You just created this new file, practice-post-request.feature under this path. And this has not been committed, or it has not been staged. Staging is basically preparation. Like inside the, imagine like a kitchen, right? You're like a restaurant, the chefs are preparing the food, everything is getting prepared, right? And then in order for them to serve it, they have to first cook it. So that goes to the, like all the grocery that you have need to go to the cooking station and cooked, and then go to, before you serve it to the clients, the customers in the restaurant, it has to go to the prepared area. Hey, these meals are prepared. This needs to now go to customer. So before it goes to customer, it gets staged in the staging area, ready to be served. You can go bring this food to the customer. So that's the staging area. Here, I prepared this file, but I didn't push it to Git yet, to my repository, remote repository. So right now, in order to push it to my remote repository, first I have to stage it, prepare it, before I serve it to the customer. So while I'm staging it, I have to keep it in the staging area. To bring it to the staging area, I can use the command called git add. And here I need to provide the file name where it's located. I'm gonna do this, put the path. Now, if I hit enter, I'm sorry, this part I'm not, oh, okay, I can zoom in there too, sorry about that. Right? So git add, and I provided the path to the file, right? And then I'm going to hit enter. All right, you see, it was showing red earlier, right? So now if I do git status, see, now it's green. So it says this is staged right now. So it's in the staging, prepared area. Now you can commit. You can actually tell the server, hey, take this food, this is ready to be served for the customer. Now we need to commit. And then, hey, I'm committing these changes. I am ready to send it to production. I mean, to the remote branch, to the remote repository. Then after this, we do git commit. So since I don't want to commit this right now, I'm going to just use a command called git restore from staged area. This is the file. So I'm gonna restore it. That means I'm gonna unstage it. I'm gonna bring it back to the kitchen because I didn't put the strawberry on top of it yet. The food is almost ready, but I need to put strawberry on top of it. I forgot that. Staging, I'm gonna bring it back to the kitchen again to put the fresh strawberry. Okay, now I'm gonna run git status. As you can see, it's back in the staging, see? Now it's red again. Once it's committed, then it will show, I mean, once it's added, then it's gonna show as green like this. Okay, anyhow, so the reason is like when I'm typing here, I'm checking out a branch, I'm adding some things, and I'm pushing this to the Git. Pay attention to this part too, so that your eyes at least get used to it, you know? During interview, they asked us a lot, what are different steps, commands that you run to push your code to remote repository? Can you tell me the Git commands that you use on your local to push the code to repository, the remote repository? So the first step is to actually add the code and then use git add command, which is gonna help us put the code into the staging. And then git commit, where we say it is, I committed this code, I can now push it to the remote repository. And then we use git push, which then sends the code from our local to the remote repository. And then in the remote, we create PR, pull request. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break, okay? It's been do you I need to do the screen share for the whole screen. Okay. Do you guys understand the structure that you are using here? Yeah? Messiah? What part do you not understand? Let me ask you that, so sorry. My finger here, right?
Body post. I forgot. Sometimes we are not using content type, for example, in the second method.
Yeah.
I forgot the original list. What kind of list it was? if there is no content type, we are not using. I guess so.
Requirement of it depends from what they're requiring.
Mhm.
If it require content type, set, or something.
Yeah, something body.
You need to leave all of it inside.
So what does this content type defines?
JSON format.
It's presenting a passport and.
Yes, so request bodies data format, right?
JSON
Content type,
Oh,
JSON.
oh, okay.
JSON is the data format.
Data format.
So it helps us define the data format. Okay, what is log all? Let me hover over here.
It's for seeing what we are sending to the database.
Yes.
In order to be able to print
Okay.
out later, right?
Server.
To the server.
It logs the request details like the request payload, request metadata to the server logs. Okay. When you know, right? Body, you know, right? What about this?
It's like a verbal bullet. Oh.
It's a type of data we are sending. In this case, class object, specific object of the class.
Mm-hmm. So this is the parameter that you are receiving. In this case,
Yes.
you're receiving the parameter, and this parameter's value is the argument. The type of this argument or the parameter is authorization response type. An authorization response type, which is this, has 3 instance variables: username, password, token. I don't see getters and setters here. Why?
Because data annotation imported.
So data annotation helps us with what, Missia? You didn't cover it.
I didn't cover.
Okay.
Not we. I. What?
Did you cover it, Nicholas?
Yes.
Because we don't need to write all of setter getters, but also include it inside of the data box, so we can use it in our step classes for creating
Mm-hmm.
setter getters.
Reuse.
Instance of data.
Getters and setters. So she doesn't have a microphone, but she's saying that Lombok is a library and it has data which helps us, data annotation, which helps us keep our code short by behind the scenes automatically generating getters and setters. Is that right? Okay. So we should be setting this username, password, and etc. somewhere, which was right here. We get response, right? Generate token. And if I go to usage, declaration and usage, and right here, yeah, set first name. Oh no, this is get booking response. That's not for that one, right? Oh, we need it for authorization response, right?
Can you
Here. Set username, set password. Authorization response log. So username and password. But we don't see getters and setters here, right? Because of this data annotation, it automatically creates getters and setters for us, right? Do you understand now? So it comes from which library? Lombok. Okay. Okay. So in this code, step by step, we are basically update the existing booking ID. update the existing. So given the user generated one-time token, and when we go into the step, it takes us to, do you see how I came here? So command, and then hover over this, and it will create it as a link. You see, by pressing and holding command or control for Windows users. Yeah? No, control, yes. Control and hover over this. You see, it becomes like a link. Is it working? No, right? It's working? Oh, okay. So you click on it and it will take you to the definition, the corresponding step definition, right? Yes, implemented code. And then inside of here, you have this code. All right. This is how I am navigating. To be honest, I did not go through this code that you guys written, so I'm having a hard time right now navigating around, but this is how I navigate. It's also called code reading, code debugging. Debugging is a little different, but this helps me like to find where it was defined, where it was used, how it was used. And I was like, oh, where's this set username happen? And I came here, I didn't see the set username. And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, so there's annotation. It's come from Lombok. Okay, so getters and setters are all hidden. It automatically generates them for me. Makes my life easier, right? JSON ignore properties. What does it do?
It says ignoring properties.
It ignores the unrecognized properties, yeah, which the ones that we don't need. And then to generate token, the user generate one-time token. Okay, then in here we have generate token method. So we have online who right now. Chinara, do you want to explain us this? What is this here? What we are doing on line 30, basically.
Response equal to generate token authorization response. It's generating the token.
Mm-hmm.
This authorization response is for set username and set password. So we are generating token for this to login like credentials. Is that
Authorize the user.
yeah, authorizing the user name and
Okay.
password.
What is this generate token? Is it a
It-
variable, array? Chinara, what is it? Generate token? Array list, I think. Just kidding. It's a
Don't remember.
method, function, right?
Yeah,
So if
yeah, it's a method, yeah.
yes, as soon as you see parentheses after whatever it is, you see parentheses. As soon as you see parentheses, that's a method. see?
Can I ask question from where
Yeah.
this generic token comes? It's
Yeah. How can
from
I go to where it's defined, where it
we
was created? Command,
command click, yeah.
yeah. Command, click. Or I can do right click and then you see go to definition or implementation. Implementation.
Oh yeah, we created. Okay, I missed a couple
So
classes.
here is it's okay. Here's the method where it was defined, where it was implemented, where it was created, right? So basically, this is a public access modifier, static, optional specifier, static, optional. We can use it, we don't have to use it. So we declared it as, we defined it as static so that we don't have to create an object of this authorization requests class to access this method, right? That's why it's static. It doesn't belong to an object, it belongs to the class. Static belongs to the class. And then it returns response, right? As you can see, it's returning a response, right? But what if I returned here null. It works. What if I return here 0? It doesn't work. What if I return here new string and put here hello? It's not gonna work. Why? Return data type doesn't match. It expects response data type, right? Good. So why we're returning response? Hey, I'm just joking, you know, right? Okay. All right, so we create the response and the response object, and we are creating a request, and whatever the return data, we're storing it inside this response object, right? So given we provide the content type of our request body as JSON, we log all of the process into the system, meaning to the server, right? All of this process that we are taking the steps, everything gets logged into the server. And in the body of our request, we are sending the authorization response. And if we go back here and go to this and generate token, you see we are sending authorization response as the parameter. And authorization response, basically right now, authorization response is an object, right? It's an object of authorization response class, which is authorization response class here, right? Right? And we're setting, so basically, you guys remember getters and setters. So this is what I'm doing. Authorization response object equals new authorization response. And for a username, I say Zia. For password, I say ABC123 Rockstar. And then the token, I say tokenization 123, for example. Remember, this is how we create objects in Java, right? Class name, the object, new. We used as soon as you see new keyword, it's an object. As soon as you see new keyword, that means some kind of objectification is happening. I'm just kidding. There's no word of it. Some kind of object creation is happening. So usually we create the objects by passing all of these if there is a constructor inside this authorization response, right? And these will be passed to the constructor. The constructor helps us initialize the instance variables, and then it creates an object. But in this case, we don't have constructor here, right? So when we don't have a constructor, it by default, exactly, public authorization response. So it has this, we just don't see it. So when you don't create any constructor, by default, it creates this kind of constructor, okay? Okay, now in here, instead of this kind of creation, we use getters and setters. These are setters only, by the way, right? So basically, we did this, but authorization response here is an object. Okay, now I think I'm gonna ask follow-up questions. Ulan, you still with us or did he drop? He's here. Yes, Ulan.
Yeah, I'm here.
What is this method? Set user, set password?
Method?
These are setter methods, right?
Setter method, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And what is authorization response here?
Authorization response, it's you can open the response, authorization response part, and this parameters include the authorization response method.
Yes. So as you can see here, we have authorization response.
Yeah, it's
There's an object,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And since there's no constructor, by default, it creates a constructor which doesn't take any parameters, which doesn't initialize anything. You see right here? It doesn't take
Yes.
anything. So authorization response here is an object. And since
Yes.
these username, right, password, token, we don't see any static keyword here. So that means these are instance variables. And they need to get assigned a value for each object. There will be a specific value gets assigned for these, right? Instance
Mhm.
variables they need to get initialized with information. Otherwise, what's the point of object? So here we have set username, set password. So now
by
this object,
using set, we're getting the information data from the authorization part. We assign the
we're
variables from,
initializing.
from the authorization response.
Yes, authorization response now has the admin and password, basically username
value.
and password it has, right?
Value. Yes.
Okay. Which is right here, you see? Username and password has been initialized, and we are sending that as a parameter to generate token. Generate token then takes that information and sends it to the base URI token, which is this. And by taking that, it returns us a token. Whatever is returned, saved inside the response. And this method, generate token, then returns that response, sends it back to us. So now here, where did it go? Yeah, whatever it was returned by this method, it's saved in here, which is also type response, right? And
Yes.
so why I printed here, right?
We need
Therefore, I'm
to,
printing
yeah.
it here.
Mhm.
I just edit this so I can see what it looks like. And then at the end, authorization response as authorization response class. So response is getting converted to authorization response type. This is serialization, or no?
Yes, serialization from the JSON format to the Java format.
Yes. And then we are the token is probably another object here. Yeah, it's just a string, right?
Yeah.
And then it is getting assigned. It's a okay. We're doing some concatenation, getting the token. So
Assign.
yep, output probably looks like just token equals this value, right? Okay, good. Let me try this in Postman. I didn't try it, so I'm learning with you guys. I like it. Where did it go? Authorization response. Where was it? Authorization request. Oh, here. So basically, I need to send here the new HTTP method, and I want to send it as post request. Put the thing here. So in the body, I need to provide a raw JSON file, and the JSON file should have username, admin, right? Password, send. There you go. It generated a token for me. And now with the help of this, I will be able to update some bookings, right? The user is get first booking from the list. I need to get all the bookings. To get all the bookings, I need to go to this guy here, right? Do I need to provide any authorization token or no? To get all the bookings? No?
No, no need. We're just getting all
Okay.
booking ID.
Oh, it just returns the booking IDs, yeah? Okay. Cool. But you guys understood it, right? What you need to do here. But here it says get the first booking. Oh, so it gets all the booking IDs. And then get booking response every single, and then from there we get the first booking, right? By the ID. So if I probably copy this guy here and then put it here and do this. Oh, okay. So this is what it returns. And then I can make updates to this also. So let me copy this. And then I want to patch. Patch does what? Partial update, right?
Update partial.
Okay. So here, initially it was first name Josh, last name Alan. Instead of updating everything, I'm just gonna update the last name. Can I do that? Is it going to require authorization token? Yeah? Okay. So, which is this one, right? To get authorization token or no? Yeah. There you go. I need to copy this. And then, where's my patch?
Bar menu button. Page.
Oh, here, okay. So let me copy this token first. And here, now authorization. Oh, just go to headers and provide here token and then put the value. Or do I need to put here token equals like this? Okay, send. It says forbidden. Forbidden means what? Not allowed.
I think there was in the cookie and then token. No?
What do you mean? Oh, instead of token, cookie?
Yeah.
Just cookie or cookie too? There you go. Okay, so now, you see, I was able to partially update it, right? And in the request body, I'm just gonna put here is academy. Put. Why? It didn't work. Put and patch both update, right?
Yeah, for put we need to put all the body of the object. It cannot like
Yes. Yes. For patch, we need partial update.
yeah.
This is 90% of the time about API questions they will ask this. Difference between put and patch. Difference between put and patch. Difference between put and patch. They always ask this question. Always. Now that you have seen in real practice here, I hope you will remember this, right? Patch requires what, Miss Claire? Partial. Put the full record, entire record, right? So whatever we're doing, you can also call it as record, okay? So this right here, see, it updated this one data. This is one record. You can call it entry, record. Yes. No, not a body. I mean, in the response, we see this is response body, but in the server, when it gets stored, it's a record or entry. So patch can update partially, put updates the entire record. Yeah? No, that's the difference. Good. They love asking this question. Nice. So apparently here in our, we get the first from the list, and then when the user set a new booking details request body, then the user is updating the existing booking using put. Okay. You did patch or no? Oh, so this was supposed to be for patch. You already did it? Okay. Okay, then, well.
I have a question. This like generating token, how do we know that we need to generate it? I mean, because like before we were not doing it, but since last class we like started to do token. How do we know?
Generate token.
How do we
This
know
right
it
now?
requires token?
Yeah, good question. Yes. Post, patch, put, anything when you have to manipulate some kind of data, you need access. You need to be authorization token. Now, here is the thing. Now imagine from real life scenario. Let's say, Aidana, you go to Miss Mary has a store. What were you selling again in your store? T-shirts. She has T-shirt store. Let's say it's on the beach somewhere, it's a beautiful place, like in Miami, yeah? And then she has a T-shirt store where she sells all kinds of T-shirts, specifically designed for Miami style, you know, and Havana style, Havana. And you as a user, let's say you are just a client, Aidana. You can only go in, look around, buy a T-shirt, or without even buying T-shirt, you can just go in and go out. You don't have access or authorization to go to the back of the store where they keep all the products, the T-shirts in the storage room. You don't have access. Now, let's say the store manager has access to everything, or the store owner, as Miss Mary, she has access to everything in that store. She can go to the back, the storage, she can go check the cash register where they keep the money. She can actually sell something. She can actually take anything she wants from her store because she owns it, right? But the manager of that store cannot take everything from the store because he or she doesn't own it. So you see, and then there's delivery guys like UPS, FedEx, those guys, maybe they have access to the back storage area and they have access to the store, but they don't have access to the cash register where they sell the products, make transactions. Am I right? So every single person here have different levels of access. Limited access, exactly. So depending on the token that gets generated with your username, with your credentials, with your username, they authorize you to different levels of access. Otherwise, if I'm an employee of Bank of America as a contractor, I don't have access to, for example, manage database. I can, however, go and check data, retrieve data, but I cannot update the data inside the database. Or I may have access to some parts of some tables in the database, but not all of them. But on the other hand, my colleague, who is a database developer, he has access to everything, right? You see? And then his manager has access to more databases. This database developer can have only access to one database where there can be like 100 different tables, and I can have access to only 2 tables, but database developer has access to 100 tables inside one database because he's the database developer for that database only. But then his manager database developer, his manager for this database, he has access to 100 different databases. And inside 100 different databases, there could be thousands of tables, and he has access to everything. You see, there are different levels of access, and you are authorized to go in and do what you have access to. But in order for you to check what do you have access to, they need to authorize. In order to authorize you, first they need to authenticate you. There is a difference between authentication and authorization. Everybody, ChatGPT, difference between authentication and authorization. It tells me on side or online, one side, okay. Difference between authentication and authentication. Authentication and authentication. What's the difference?
Authentication. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
There's fee on one, there's no fee on the other one. That's the difference. So the difference between authentication and authorization.
Authentication in
Mm.
this process, we're verifying who we are. Yeah.
Identification, right?
Identification. Yeah. When we're
Yes.
logging in our mail, yeah, and somewhere else, maybe like Facebook,
Yes.
another, we need to provide our valid credentials,
Yes.
which system is checks
Mhm.
it's matched to that data, which is saved, and it's so it give us access to our
You mean
What?
like checking your ID or no?
checking our username and password, which we created when we
Mhm.
at the beginning when we opening our page, we create username and password
Okay.
for authentication. Yeah.
Mhm.
I understand like this. So
Then what's
we verify
authorization?
authorization? It's give
So you're logging
Uh,
into Facebook.
no, it's giving where we can have access. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, for access.
Okay. Okay. Who else? Miss Zia. Author-
So yeah, it can allow us via authentication it can access us via authentication to the system.
If we can access or not via authentication. What about authorization?
Authorization, I mean, authentication she said, it involves a password or username or other methods that, for example, biometric or
Yes.
fingerprints and face
Identification, right?
recognition.
Identify. Not authentify. Identify. Right? Okay. All right. Thank you. Miss Claire, what do you think? In your own words.
I think when you log into an application,
Mm.
it's authentication,
Mm.
and the system checks my role and access. It
Mhm.
is authorization.
Good. So login is authentication. Access level is authorization. Are you? So let's say everybody has access to this office, right? But you're authorized to access this class, the rooms, but do any of you did any of you have seen the modem or where I keep the router for internet? You don't have authorization. Yes. You need a separate kind of token to go there. Basically, I have the key. You don't have it. So that's the difference. So that's authorization. You're not authorized to go into the server room, basically. Yeah. But you are authorized to go to different rooms in the room. You're authorized to use the TV, you're authorized to use the speaker, you're authorized to use the internet, but you're not authorized to go into the server room. Wow, this was a good example. All right. From online, we have Benazir. Explain us what you understood by authentication versus authorization. You hear? Benazir? No? Okay. Chinara, what do you think? Chinara, when you go to the on-site interview, they're gonna ask you this question.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so scary going along. Yeah, difference between authentication and authorization, it's basically authentication is checking who are you when you log in with password, and authorization, it's what are you allowed to do on this web application, and access, it gives the specific like it give you access to specific files or actions on this.
It's your access level.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go to the on-site interview, they will ask you this, okay? So be careful. If I were you, I would really learn it. Right now, I don't know if you read ChatGPT or it was your own words, but I would really learn it. Okay. It's not a difference between put and patch.
Put and patch. Put, it's update the whole data. Like you have to put whole body JSON in JSON format, and the and patch is we can take partially data and update it.
Okay. Difference between delete and get.
Delete, it's delete the data. Get is get data from. It's easy.
Delete is delete, get is get. What's the problem?
Yes. I don't know how you want me to explain it. It gets from database, and delete, it's delete in database.
Okay. So we came to this stuff from the question that Aidana triggered, saying, why do we need to now use token? Last week we were not using it, right? So now do you understand the token? Why do we need it, Aidana?
Yes.
So the
understand.
token, with the token, the system, the API has a system, right? It is software. It has some logic coded behind it. So that logic will check, does this person who's trying to, for example, update or create this record, is this person authorized to do that or not? That's why we need token. But thank you for that question, because it gave me a reminder of authentication and authentication. Authorization, I mean.
I have a question.
Yes.
For example, when you work, let's say, in a company, let's say you give the access to your employees, and
Mhm.
like, and here it's we are doing authentication, right? Authorization, like giving the access, and then it's like letting this user, like he can do something, like some actions when you, like, let's say we uploaded
So
file
first,
was
uh-huh.
the permission file, let's say. So how does it work in the backend?
Okay, so here we are doing both authentication and authorization.
Mhm.
Who understood the difference? Where are we doing which one?
Okay, we are already, let's say we are already did the authentication. This user already can already log it in to this web application, and he not allowed to do like upload file or do any changes on this. Like, it's, let's say he's the analyst of this
Mhm.
like company,
Application?
let's say, or he's a manager, let's say. Yeah, and we stopped giving him permission to do any changes on the this web.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who will handle it, you said?
Sorry? I
The
mean,
question was
if it will be a manager or analyst
yeah,
or any
exactly.
yeah.
So usually, like if it has to do with, I mean, usually these go through some authorization application service API, or it goes through directly database. It goes to database, checks your access level, and responds back. But usually, all of these access levels, authorization levels, right, are handled by database people or cloud engineers or database administrators. They administer the database. Administratia, yeah. Another question is, so on line 27 and 28, we are setting the username and password, right? And
Yes.
then we're providing our credentials. This is the part where you authenticate. Okay. And if you go to generate token here, we are providing this in the authorization response object here, right? It has the username and password of our credentials. And then this posts it to this token URL. Yeah. Sends your credentials. And then that URL, there is a service which is auth, right? So that is the endpoint. Auth is the endpoint, which is also a service, which is also an API, which checks these are the credentials, create me token accordingly. And this token will define what he has access to and what he doesn't have access to. If it's a manager, it generates a different kind of token. Same style, same thing, but with this token, now the system recognizes who you are, and it will know what's the role that you have assigned. Are you manager? Are you contractor? Are you analyst? Are you developer? Are you database manager? Accordingly, it will define your access level. It will authorize you to different parts of the software. Does it help, Snara?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
getting back to Aidana's question. Aidana, these documentation, where do we get, where to get the document, the token from? How do we authorize? All of this information will be provided to you at work. Usually, you will get some documentation in either like the Swagger, yeah, that I showed last time, either Swagger or there will be some on Jira. Remember, we have Confluence page. There will be
Yes.
either Confluence or Wiki page, and they will provide you documentation, or I mean, every company does differently. They could actually email you a Word document. Today with Altanay, we were looking at her framework and how do they do the branch naming for their framework. We used this today. Git checkout. We checked out the branch for her, and we started implementing some code. And I told her, finish this part, and then after you're done, add these changes to the staging, then commit them, and then bring it here. We're gonna create. We're gonna push the code together. We're gonna create a pull request to merge your code to the develop branch. Yeah. So all this process, what we're showing here, you're going to need it at work. Right now, you might not pay attention much. You're sleepy, you're tired, I don't know, but when you go to work, you're gonna need it. So I want you to learn right now. And about the authentication authorization, difference between put and patch, I keep asking. Soon you will go to market, soon you will face these interviews, and soon you will get asked these questions. Maybe for Chinara, it's gonna happen next week when she goes for her on-site interview. And they might even ask, all right, Chinara, what are different types of endpoints you have tested? So here, Chinara, booking is an endpoint.
Yeah.
Auth, it's an endpoint. So just make sure you know this. And this is the base URI or URI or URL. You can use both.
Yeah.
What else? Response. Is it? This is a response is a class, right? Interface. Response is an interface. Okay. And rest assured.
Library.
Library, right? But it comes from rest assured library, and it has rest assured. And I want to go here. I think. I don't have access. Oh, except what does it say? Rest assured is a class. I mean, rest assured itself is a class, but it is known as a library because they export this as a dependency, like a Maven dependency. Yeah, dependencies in Maven. You guys remember? POM XML. Those are dependencies. POM XML is a dependency management file. POM.xml. We manage our dependencies there, right? The versions and other stuff. So rest assured, it's a class itself. And the what is this? Private static final?
It's
Who
like
knows it?
constant, yeah.
Yes, constant. Why it's constant?
Because it cannot be changed. It will be
Yes,
always.
exactly. Once it has been initialized, you see on line 54.
Final key choosing here.
Exactly. Private static final, all of these together combined, we call them as constant. And the constants usually have the variable names, all uppercase, as you notice. See? This way, this guy. This one, oh, it's an object, okay. Yeah, these are all private static final. These are constants. Spring int, okay. Constant. And on your notes, for Java, I would add here static keyword as a whole new section by itself, okay? And then research about what is static keyword, and then add that. What's static used for in Java? In Java, static keyword is used to indicate that a particular member of a class belongs to the class itself rather than instance of the class. Instance means object, right? This means you can access the static member without creating any object of the class. You don't need to create an object. There are I mean, static used in different contexts, right? We can use it for method, we can use it for variables, we can have a static block. So in this case, they created static variable. Now it belongs to this example class. Static methods, also methods can be declared as static. And then static blocks. Static block is basically helping us to initialize the different instance variables of the class. So it will run as soon as the application is loaded, the static blocks will run. You see, a static block is executed when the class is loaded into memory. As soon as it's loaded into memory, before any objects get created, static block will run. Usually the purpose is used to initialize static variables or run code that must execute once when the class is loaded. And then static classes. I mean, static classes usually are for nested classes, but you're not really gonna need them for the real world scenario and for the interviews. And static imports, it allows importing static members like the methods or the fields of the class, so they can be accessed without class qualification. So like, I think for utils in the Selenium framework you were using, right? For the utils, you kept, you import the weights, I think, as static import, so that you don't even have to refer to the class name and then use the method. You can directly use it without creating. Even here, it's noticed, right? In our framework, I think you are using it, generate token, right? This generate token, it's yeah, here, see? Authorization requests and the generate token must be inside of it, right? Right? You see, I didn't refer to authorization requests dot, although I could use it like this, right? But since I imported it as a static member, now I don't even need to provide here authorization requests. I can directly invoke this method because I have imported as a static all the static members of this class. If I go here, you see, generate token method is part of the static member of this class. What else? Yeah, so key points. Static members belong to the class, not to the objects. This is something that you have to mention, right? The purpose of static keyword. Static methods cannot access non-static variables or methods directly because non-static members belong to the instance. So we need to create an object first in order to access non-static methods or members of the class. Overriding is not possible for static methods because they are bound to the class, not to the object. So method overriding can happen for only what? Instance methods. Basically, non-static methods. Overriding, do you guys you forgot, huh? Okay, we have to put that into, so for Java, inside methods, I'm gonna add here method overriding versus overloading. This is number one question in Java. One of the number one, sorry. Static keyword is also number one question. Everything is number one question. Everything I post here is are the list of questions that get asked during interviews. So make sure you create a note of these and also use them for your own reference during interviews. API. Okay, here, status code. For API, if you know this, I just provided this list. You don't even need response. Oh, serialization and deserialization. Lombok. So if you know these, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just 10. For API, know these 10. I guarantee you will pass the interview for APIs. I mean, as soon as they start asking about API questions, if you know just these 10 topics that I created here, post, get, patch, put, different stats codes, authentication versus authorization, what is rest assured, serialization and deserialization, and Lombok. Boom, you will nail it. You will pass the API interview questions. Okay, string builder versus string buffer versus string. Heap memory. Equal versus equals method, and char at split substring contains replace. These 5 methods will be enough. reverse the string. How do you reverse a string? Okay, this is it for today. You guys have any questions? I will share this also with you, and so that you can run. Okay. See.
I have a question, Bahoike.
Yes.
Do you have like holidays or something like
Yeah. Mm, yes, we will. We're gonna share something shortly, okay?
mhm.
Victor is gonna share something. There will be. Let me end the recording here.